books, Richard. Are you keeping an eye on the trade deadline coming up?
Yeah, it's not too far away to start throwing some of those ideas into the good old trade machine, but I like to be respectful to the players and not speculate too much. There's a lot more involved than just moving players.
The starters for Utah. Keontae George out there with Bailey. Then it's Jackson. Then it's Jusuf Nurkic. And it's Sensabaugh in at the 3, the small forward. Here's Sensabaugh. Utah moving the ball around. There's a screen by Nurkic. Really left him alone that time.
And there's a nice rhythm to his three-point shot. You know, George has a confident stroke.
Time now to hear from our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Raleigh had a chance to talk with head coach Mitch Johnson. He's focused on Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight, always a big problem for opponents. Coach told me Triple J does the 2 things we all want, hit threes and block shots. He's won a Defensive Player of the Year, so we're talking about one of the toughest guys to game plan for because he's really good at both ends. Back to you, Brian.
Okay, thank you, Allie. So it's Utah now. San Antonio getting their last shot to go. George, no good.
Defense kind of rolled the dice there, and I'm a little surprised that it ended up going their way with the miss.
Wembanyama pass to Champagnie. Vassell outside. From behind the arc. Nails it from 3.
And this is something Vassell has really improved. Now you have to guard him closely from deep.
Right wing. Here's Sensabaugh. 3-pointer, no good.
It's hard not to want payback when you give up a 3 at the other end, but it can force you to rush things. Attacking the rim with power.
Tremendous finish. The Jazz have gone 1 for 3 so far. And you look for bright spots in this developing core for Utah, Greg. What stands out?
Well, I think it's the front court, B.A. You have 2 gifted scoring forwards in Markkanen and Bailey. Then you've got Walker Kessler, an elite shot blocker, manning the middle.
Here's Bailey. They look to him to score consistently, averaging around 13.5 a game. Vassell finds Fox. Drives to the hoop. It's good. And he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play opportunity. And San Antonio making a change here. Kornet's checked in. All right, a look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Spurs.
I've really been impressed with how aggressive they've been inside, looking to capitalize from the paint whenever they can.
And from the jump, they've also clearly been focused on running effective plays here tonight. And there's been a lot of high-quality distribution from them on the floor.
The Spurs making a switch here. Champagnie's checked in. The fadeaway. No good. A bit long that time.
1 of 5 to start the game. They have to slow down and just play their brand of basketball. Boy, I like their energy coming in. Terrific execution so far.
Couldn't come up with a much better start than this. They just have to keep it going.
Now here's George. Playing Detroit, he was nearly unstoppable. And Bailey gets it to go.
And even if he doesn't have the wider frame some guys do, Bailey's not going to let contact keep him from finishing.
Here's Fox. And Fox powers it home.
So far, they're owning both ends of the floor. We'll see if they can keep this going.
They came out and bum-rushed them. Huge difference in activity level from both teams tonight.
Now here's George. And you look at his numbers, just over 21 a game.
First personal foul. First team foul.
And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Pass to Sensabaugh. Here's Jackson.
And just refusing to give up second chance points. Excellent defensive rebounding.
Using that size of his, Nurkic secures the board and sends it back.
Here's Fox. Good. Fox has got 9.
D hasn't been quick enough to react to the ball inside. That's helped cause this run.
Fox against George. Here's Jackson. Rebound by San Antonio.
Okay, so if I were to say this was a disaster of a period for him, it would be an understatement. But hey, sometimes you gotta shoot your way out of the slump, even for him.
Really taking charge of the game, largely with a detailed interior attack.
Yeah, they haven't appeared in a rush at all. They are just playing to their strengths and building this lead out well.
Here's George, and a jam by George.
Wow, Keontae George flashing those handles, nasty stuff.
And here's the timeout from Mitch Johnson now. And we might see some changes. Coach potentially looking to adjust. So San Antonio ends up going with a new group. Then for Utah, Filipowski comes in for Jaren Jackson Jr. And it's Collier in for Bailey. Harper misses.
And you got to give credit to the D for never giving up on the play and doing just enough to bother him at the rim.
Here's Collier. Yes, and it's George picking up the assist.
A growing aspect of George's game. He's working to become a strong facilitator.
Here's Harper. Played it in with a nice touch off the window.
Man, that's now 10 straight points in the paint. I'm not sure what's happened to their defense.
Pass to Sensabaugh. Takes a three. Harper pulls it in. Spurs lead by 11. Here's Barnes. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play. A different look here for Utah. Williams is checked in for Jusuf Nurkic. Konchar comes in for Sensabaugh, and Mikhailuk subbed in for George. Utah's gone 1 of 4 from deep. Mikhailuk, the pass to Konchar. Back to Mikhailuk. Let's go with a three. The shot off that time. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Here's Harper, and that one is hammered home.
Just showcasing his athleticism on that jam. Harper loves rising up and dropping the hammer.
The kick out to Williams. Will it go? San Antonio with a rebound. Here's Harper. The first quarter concludes, and a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. It's the Spurs up by 16. And we'll be back in just a minute with the start of the second quarter. And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And guys, we've seen a confident-looking Spurs team out there.
They're off to a rock-solid start. They brought a well-thought-out plan into this one.
Well, let's see if they're able to keep it up. So far, their shot selection and ball movement has been on point.
On the floor for Utah, getting going in the second. They've got Williams, Kevin Love out there with Filipowski. Then there's Collier, and it's Mikhailuk in at the shooting guard position. Here's Love, out to the right wing. Now here's Filipowski. No points so far. Oh, here's Love with the jam.
Oh, that's how you flush it. I see you, K-Love, showing you still got a little bit of bounce.
Outside Wembanyama, beyond the arc. Ooh, he's locked in. Drains his 5th shot in as many attempts.
And just not letting up at all. I mean, you have to love this approach. You want to get the ball to the guys who make plays.
This is when good players really get after it. He can sense that they're reeling, and he's going to put his foot on the pedal.
All right, let's get a report from Allie.
Thanks, Brian. The Utah Jazz are going young, but this is a franchise that has a winning history, and that culture is still around. Coach Will Hardy said, the messaging doesn't change. The players have bought into the little things that takes to win. This is a cohesive group that's committed to helping each other. Back to you guys.
Building the right way. Thanks a lot, Allie. A different look here for Utah. Jaren Jackson, he's checked in for Love. Bailey comes in for Williams. And it's George in for Mikhailuk. Here's Harper. His offense has been solid, scoring around 11.5 points a game.
And his ability to efficiently score, that's really helped him out in this one, putting them ahead on the scoreboard.
And so Will Hardy calls the timeout. He's going to talk it over with his guys. And going against San Antonio. Antonio, their first meeting of the year.
These teams split the season series last year, neither making an impact in the conference overall.
A big group substitution here for San Antonio. Champagnie, he's checked in for Cornette. Devin Vassell comes in for Barnes. Castle's checked in for Johnson. And Fox is subbed in for Harper. Here's Collier. In his last outing, he had 11 points. Here's Bailey. Kicks it out to Jackson. Shot clock at 2. Knocks it down from distance. Jackson's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Here's Fox. His last outing, we saw him score 22. And Grant, when it comes to pure shot-making ability, scouts love Ace Bailey's natural tools.
Yeah, when he's taking good shots, he can carry the offense. He needs to get a little stronger and clean up a few things, but his upside as a scorer is tremendous.
The Jazz making a switch here. Nurkic is checked in.
What sets Fox apart is how dynamic and explosive he is. He can take off at any moment in any direction.
Jackson for 3. The rebound by Victor Wembanyama.
They've had a slight leg up on the boards and a big leg up on the scoreboard.
Launches a 3. It's hauled in by Collier. Jazz trail by 19. And here in the second quarter, about 3 minutes played. Jackson can't get it to go.
And sometimes on defense, you can just get lucky.
Castle goes in. Oh, he packs it down right over Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, just a vicious slam from Castle. You know, I have a feeling we'll see a few more of those over the next few years.
Thanks for that great view, courtesy of the AT&T Connected Cam. Here's Collier. Jackson outside. It's George on the wing. Jackson the screen. George with the bucket. George has gotten his 3rd basket of the night.
I know what they say, defense wins championships, but you need some bucket getters too now.
He almost brought the basket down on top of himself.
Oh, there's hang time, and then there's a time. To hang. Nurkic up top. Down low. Collier. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup. Collier's got 6.
And they're in a better flow this quarter offensively, and their shooting percentage is steadily rising as a result.
For San Antonio, Cornette's checked in for Victor Wembanyama. And it's Johnson in for Castle. And Utah with a change here too. Sensabaugh's checked in. Fox, that's good. Fox has gotten 4 this quarter.
Look at Fox fearlessly going inside, hunting for a higher percentage look.
Here's George. And he dumps it down.
Just magnificent. I mean, he punishes the D for lackluster effort.
They look a little disorganized there. The result is an emphatic jam.
Yeah, when you're not locked in on defense, they will make you pay with an easy finish there.
Pure from 3-point range.
He's been working on his shot, and it's showing in Vassell's game.
George passes to Nurkic. Here's Bailey. Utah moving the ball around. 1:09 left to play in the second quarter. Oh, and he brings it down with a 2-handed jam.
Now that's how you use the screen right there.
And it leads to a thunderous finish. That was nice.
Yeah, you like the pick to set up the open shot. But when it leads to a dunk, okay, even better, you'll take it. That guy is perfect from the field, making major contributions to this lead.
Pass to Sensabaugh. Back to Jackson. And the dunk by Jackson.
We talk about Jackson's elite shooting for a big, but this is the other thing that he can do when his mindset is to attack.
Good on the shot.
And once more this half, they find a way to get great position inside.
And so George will bring it up for the Jazz. Next matchup, they'll be at home against the Celtics. And that's a 1-game homestand for the club. Here's Bailey. Rebounded by Champagnie.
And they're +5 on the boards after that rebound.
Here's Fox. And the layup is good off the glass. Fox has got 8 here in this quarter.
Yeah, their defense is starting to wear down. That's 3 straight buckets at the rim.
Here's Bailey. And he converts the layup.
At point-blank range, oh, yeah. You're not missing from there.
Here's Fox. And Fox powers it home.
I'll be honest, he's having a better quarter than a lot of my nights back when I played.
A dominating first half of play, and so far it hasn't been close. San Antonio on top, running away with this one. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
Welcome, everybody. We'll get things going with a look at who might be participating.
For one of my favorite events, Kenny, I think I could beat you right now if we did one.
You'd have everyone ducking their head, running for cover.
So you're scared. I get it.
Shifting gears back to that first half, De'Aaron Fox had it all working.
Well, Fox is on fire, using his quickness to stay one step ahead of everyone else, creating lots of scoring opportunities.
Yeah, he's setting a pace out there that few guys can keep up with. Thanks for tuning in.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the rout that it's threatening to be. Boy, it's been one outstanding game from De'Aaron Fox.
Through the first 2 quarters, he's been on fire. Explosive offensive performance.
If they don't change their approach in the second half, let's just say his success will continue.
Grant, you are a Hall of Fame small forward, so you know a bit about the position. What's key in excelling at the 3?
Well, B.A., you have to be able to space the floor. We almost never see a 3 or even 4 who can't make threes. And on the other end, lots of times you're matched up with quick guards.
Fox at the 1 with Castle at the 2. Then there's Devin Vassell. Then it's Victor Wembanyama. And it's Champagnie at the 4. That's the San Antonio 5. The Jazz shooting it at 52%. Here's Bailey. Oh, a great 1-2 punch. Beautiful pass and a nasty jam.
A big-time slam right there by Bailey. You know, good to see this young man play with such authority.
The offensive rebound. Pass to George. Out to the wing. Here's Sensabaugh. Ooh, a little luck that time as it drops.
A quality pass, setting up a quality shot. It's just textbook basketball.
Champagnie, the pass to Wembanyama. That is now his 7th field goal in 10 attempts. Impressive.
There were questions about Wembanyama's strength coming into the league. No problem with the contact here.
Pass to Jackson. It's hauled in by Wembanyama.
Nice reaction defensively, determined to make that a difficult shot.
Over the last few seasons, we've seen Jaren Jackson Jr. take major leaps offensively.
His scoring and efficiency has gone up, and it's been paired with his other defensive ability, and that has made him lethal. Now, if we could just focus on the rebound.
And a chance to look at the block shot numbers over the last few seasons for Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, and his block averages have been trending the wrong way. But honestly, these numbers can be misleading. Sometimes guys just don't want to take a shot around you.
Here's Sensabaugh. Looking at his production, close to 12 points a game.
Nice basic one-hander there.
Hey, I think he got some extra bounce off the ground on that one. A chance here to catch up with Allie from the sideline.
Hey, Commissioner Silver talked about health, and he said that some of the injuries that our young players are experiencing are overuse injuries. In earlier eras, players in school participated in different sports depending on the season. He said perhaps a return to that approach is warranted. BA, back to you.
Interesting thought. Okay, Allie, thanks a lot. Here's Champagnie. Yet to see a basket. Oh, and Jackson with the block. To the middle. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket is good, and he'll go to the line.
And you can see the strength that Jackson has added to that huge frame. He is turning into a monster.
Cornette's checked in for Champagny. Spurs lead by 19. Wembanyama, pass to Fox. Castle for three. The basket's good. Off the assist from Fox. Fox has got 4 assists in the game.
You're upgrading the three-point shot. It's big for Castle as he continues to develop.
Now here's Nurkic, giving this team some energy, averaging a little over 10 points a game. Here's Bailey. Here's George. Here's Nurkic. And it's out of bounds. Jazz able to retain possession here. Plumlee's checked in for San Antonio. And a switch here also for Utah. Collier, he's checked in for George. Clock at 6. For three, Collier. Rebounded by Castle. And so it's Wembanyama with it. He brings it up for the Spurs. And Vassell, the bucket, on the assist by Plumlee. Vassell's got 8.
The defense was there, but Vassell stays calm and uses that length inside.
Pass to Collier. Here's Sensabaugh. Lets it go from deep. Rebound by San Antonio. Wembanyama's got 4 rebounds in the game. Fox with the ball. Jackson in his pocket. Vassell's shot is good. Got 10.
That's been typical of their performance today. They're sharing the ball and creating good shots.
Now here's Nurkic.
2 minutes remaining in the third.
Here's Bailey.
2 minutes.
That one's off. Still out of sync.
Decent look from mid-range. You almost have to take that shot to keep the defense honest.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Jackson. So San Antonio going with almost an entire new group here. Olenek's checked in for Wembanyama. Barnes comes in for Vassell. Johnson, he's checked in for Castle. And it's Harper in for De'Aaron Fox. And a switch here also for Utah. Filipowski, he's checked in for Jusuf Nurkic.
Inside Jackson is so effective. His natural abilities give him the edge over the defense.
Johnson passes to Barnes. And once again, off the mark by San Antonio. Utah has got nothing to fall from outside in this third quarter. Here's Sensabaugh. He's guarded by Barnes. To the paint. Here's Jackson. Ooh, good D by Plumlee. For San Antonio, they've gotten 6 of their first 12 shots to drop in this third.
As his career has progressed, Johnson has really improved as a playmaker.
56 seconds left in the third quarter. Pass to Bailey. Utah moving the ball around. Jackson for 3. Jackson with another miss.
Let's just say his subpar shooting is just one reason why they are trailing in this ball game.
Here's Harper. He's got 6. Lays it up and banks it in.
They have no answer defensively inside.
Pass to Bailey. Here's Sensabaugh. Here's Bailey, covered by Johnson. Oh, he powers right through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul, too. And he'll go to the line. It goes on Mason Plumlee. Utah shooting their second attempt at the line tonight.
And there's a lot of upside to Ace Bailey. He's already a gifted shot maker, but you also see signs of elite defensive potential. If he can level up on both ends, Ace will be special. B.A., the one-hand dunk just looks so fluid.
Yeah, absolutely. Even smooth when he's powering it home like that.
The officials were right on top of that one.
Utah shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. No good on that
one. At the line for the Jazz.
And he's good on the 2nd. Here's Harper. Shoots over Collier. Oh, and the buzzer beater is good!
Great job ending the quarter on a high note.
That's the play that pumps up the whole team, and they'll try to carry that energy into the next period.
And so the San Antonio Spurs firmly in control with an impressive 28-point lead as the quarter ends. It hasn't taken them too many shots to get their points. All right, let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
And the winner today coming from an unlikely position. It's the big fella with the sweetest pass of the day.
I feel like we've seen more slick passing big men in the league today than we've ever seen.
And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same for the first three quarters. And Utah looking at who they've got to start the fourth. Vyacheslav Mikhailuk is out there with Williams. Then there's George. Then there's Collier. And it's Filipowski in at the center position, locking down the middle. Pass to Collier. And a nice finish on the layup.
Nice ball movement there. That's how you break down the defense.
San Antonio's got 5 of 7 threes to drop here tonight. Oh, George with a steal. Mikhailuk attacks. Here's Williams. And Williams punches it home.
Adding insult to injury with the dunk off the steal.
Nice to see a good play on D. That led to some fireworks.
Once he poked it away, you knew what was on his mind.
Pass to Harper. Well, Richard, we know that coaches will sometimes criticize their team's performance in those post-game press conferences. But where's that line?
Well, I think coaches should always use I. When you say I, and I as the leader of the team, I have to have them prepared ready. I didn't do a good job making sure that I demanded the type of execution. That first always helps.
You have to credit their effort. I mean, they've done an amazing job on the glass.
Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. Harper. That one falls. 8 of 10 and scoring with confidence.
All of a sudden, he's balling. Halftime adjustments successful so far.
Pass to Mikhailuk from outside the arc. Rebound San Antonio. Inside. Ooh, poked away. Here's Olynyk. The rebound by Filipowski. Utah has gone 0 for 2 from outside here in the fourth quarter. Here's Collier. Fires the three. And it's Cornette with a rebound. Just under 2.5 minutes gone by now in the final quarter. Pass to Barnes. To the inside. And Olynyk the bucket on the assist from Barnes.
And the defense has no one to blame but themselves. I mean, they just let him get right to the rim.
That's a great possession. Put your best players in a position to succeed.
Here's George. And the jam by George.
Yes, sir. George with the flush.
San Antonio's gone 6 of 8 from the three-point line in this matchup. Johnson against George. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
Hanging on the rim, just showing off.
That's how you extend the glory right there. George feels it out a bit. Pass to Collier. Well, Richard, you would know something about this. Is the wing position the most important in the NBA right now?
I would say once we got to the point forward position of the Scottie Pippens, of the Penny Hardaways, it became the most important position in the NBA, and it still stands true.
And everybody loves a rookie who can get productive. Harper making a serious contribution tonight.
George passes to Mikhailuk. Williams on the wing, guarded by Olynyk. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Filipowski. The rebound by the Spurs.
Well, the defense was fortunate. That was a good look from mid-range. He just was trash.
Here's Harper on the take. It's hauled in by Collier. Collier's got 4 rebounds in the game. Mikhailuk buries it from 3.
If you give him that kind of separation, oh, he's going to take full advantage.
There's a minute 34 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Here's Harper. The shot no good. And so it's George with it. He brings it up for the Jazz.
And you can see how scary this team can be when everything is clicking for them. Just a terrific performance for the Spurs.
And everything seemed to go their way today. They were firing on all cylinders, Grant.
Yeah, B.A., this was the kind of performance you relish as a player. Just a very impressive win.
And so hard work pays off with their 26th win of the year.
And having this win on the books might give them a little mental advantage the next 2 times these squads meet.
And as it was happening, as it was building, you knew this was a monster game for De'Aaron Fox.
Okay, I'm going to explain what he did here. It's called playmaking. Being someone that seeks out their teammates, making the extra pass.
Here's Harper. Here's Johnson. The shot no good. Just 2 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Some room here for George. And another miss by Utah. Time called here. San Antonio decides to talk it over. They're leading by 32. Guys, your thoughts?
And they're hoping to wrap this one up.
Also, we've seen some wild finishes in our time. You can't afford to lose focus for just 1 second.
Here's McLaughlin. An easy 2 on the layup.
I just love when teams make it work down low.
And so it's San Antonio easily grabbing this one. They didn't have too many problems tonight.
They didn't. Just a tremendous team effort. Once they had that big lead, they were not going to let the visitors back into the game.
And that'll do it, folks. For Grant Hill, Richard Jefferson, and Allie LaForce, this is Brian Anderson. Thanks for watching the NBA.